My guest is Jane Seymour, a multi-Emmy and Golden Globe winner and recipient of the Officer of British Empire, which was bestowed upon her by Queen Elizabeth II. Jane has proven her talents in virtually all arenas, from the Broadway stage to motion pictures to television. Her love of art and color has led her to great success as a painter in watercolors and oils, as a fashion designer, and now as a jewelry designer. And today we're talking about her brand new book, which is just beautiful, and it's called Open Hearts. Welcome, Jane Seymour.
Thank you.
It's wonderful to have you. This is the fourth time I've interviewed you, and I'm very excited. You know, this book is really right up the alley of this whole program, Positive Living, which is about keeping your heart open, which is about turning your obstacles into opportunities. Talk about how the book found its home.
Well, this whole philosophy is really something that I got from my mother. My mother had always talked to me about how when life was dire, when things were really tough, that if you opened your heart and if you found a way to help other people, that it would help you. And she had a very positive outlook on life, and she really went through a lot of terrible things in her life, including, of course, World War II. And I developed these paintings called Healing Hearts. They were, every time I painted a heart, they usually were open. And I kept thinking of my mother's philosophy about keeping your heart open, so you could give and receive love. And I then joined the two hearts and in one stroke, and it became almost like the form of a woman's body. And I kind of looked at it, and I really loved it, and I made it into a pendant, which I wore when I did Dancing with the Stars. And then I just, then Kay Jewelers and Jared's, they saw it, and they fell in love with it and asked me if I'd like to design a whole collection. And really what everyone loved was the idea, the concept of a universal symbol. It's something that spoke to giving and receiving love and being positive and dealing with change. And so that's why I wrote the book, because I wanted to show people that there were great writings from great philosophers and great people in our times, people that I met on the Internet, like Marianne, and things that I wrote, and really just speak about what it meant to have an open heart.
Yeah, and one of the things you talk about, I mean, right in the foreword of the book, you say, in my life, I've had my heart broken many times. We all have. I'm not just thinking of the love affair that goes wrong, the marriage that falls apart. I'm thinking of the pain when a child suffers, when work goes wrong, when you lose someone you care for. We've all nursed broken hearts. But what you're saying here is that you must keep your heart open even when your heart's been broken.
Absolutely. Because if you think about it, when your heart is broken, which, happens to everybody at some point in their lives, whether it's a romantic relationship or it's something to do with your parents or kids or, a friend or a coworker or even, the relationship you have with yourself, that when you close off, when your heart is broken, you tend to close off your heart, and you don't dare become vulnerable to ever love or be loved again. Whereas if you actually can open your heart and leave it open just a little bit, you can let go of the negative, you can let go of the past, you can be in the present moment, and there is space. There's a vacuum there for you to actually embrace something brand new, maybe a new relationship, it may be a new way of life, maybe a new hobby, maybe a new venture, who knows what it is. But you're open to something, to the possibility of something that you don't even know about yet.
We have to stay open. And you try to get your message of hope and love through the world largely through charitable causes, through the American Red Cross, through child help. Talk about some of those causes.
Well, I'm involved with a number of causes, and of course I get asked to do tons, as you can imagine, but I didn't want to spread myself too thin, so I'm mostly involved with children's causes. With the American Red Cross, I'm very specifically involved with the Measles Initiative, and now we're distributing mosquito nets and dealing with vitamin D shots, and I'm very involved with that. I'm also, because of that, I got very involved with the world's water issues. I did a documentary called Are We Running Dry?
Yes.
And I speak in Capitol Hill. I helped get a bill passed, Water for the Poor Act. And water is the hugest issue at the moment. Globally, and also in terms of our safety, because the wars over oil. It's not going to be over oil anymore. It's going to be over water, and human beings can't exist without water.
Well, and you're also honorary chairperson for City Hearts, which is an organization that enriches the lives of inner-city children, and certainly they're dealing with the water issues as well.
Well, they are too, but they're dealing with even worse issues, really, in some respects. I mean, these are kids who are at risk. The programs we have offer them free arts programs where they really have a chance not just to do drama or music or dance, but during that program, the teachers build their self-esteem, and we've just had amazing success with this program. The kids who come to the program end up graduating from high school. They end up learning their second language. They end up not getting involved in drugs or gangs. It's just been a fantastic program. And I also work with Child Help, which is the national child abuse agency, and I've been working with them for a long time. And that, they all kind of group together, actually. They all kind of work together. And I'm very involved with the foster care program, with mentoring. So trying to help children.
Well, that's
huge,
the future.
Huge issue.
That's our future as children.
Yes.
Jane, what would you say to folks now about open hearts in our tough economic times? People are really struggling.
People are really struggling, and this is where it all came from. My inspiration came from when I was struggling. I'd gone through a terrible divorce. Unbeknownst to me, all my money had been lost. I was in unbelievable debt. I mean, ridiculous amount. I lost my homes, I lost everything, and I lost my self-esteem. So I totally can understand.
How did you get it back?
Feel.
How did you get it back, Jane?
Well, I did exactly what my mom said. I just decided to help other people. So we did a child help event I was at, and they had a silent auction, and I gave what money I had left to Child Help for an artist to do a drawing of my kids. The artist then offered to give me some free art lessons, which that was my gift. That was the open.
And that was the beginning of your art.
And that was the beginning. And then through my art, I've raised awareness for umpteen causes, raised money for lots of charities.
So from those obstacles came the great opportunity of your art and other things.
It was a gift. I've actually since spoken to my ex-husband and thanked him for the chaos that he put me in. I mean, I have to. I would not be speaking to you today about all of these things had that not happened to me. So really what I'm trying to say to people is when you have a challenge, when something formidable happens in your life, there may be an opportunity there that you aren't aware of. And I speak in the book, for example, about a woman whose daughter was killed in a car accident, and the daughter was going to be a dancer, and now the mother runs this unbelievable dance program for all kinds of kids who have problems.
Just the message of this show is turning your obstacles into opportunities and your problems into solutions, and that's exactly what you're talking about.
And I think for today, this is really what we need right now. I think this is really, a book for our times.
Yes, let's talk about the book and how people can get this. It's a brand new book, beautiful. It's small. It's about 5 by 8. It's a little bit wider than that, and it's a picture book.
It's square.
Square.
Yes, it's about 7 inches by 7 inches or 6 by 6.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It has a lot of my artwork in here. It's all my artwork. It has a lot of quotes and lovely, writing. It also has writing by me and my husband and friends and family and all of that. And it's a great book to give people who are going through a struggle. So for right now, it's a great Valentine's Day gift, obviously, because it celebrates love, but it celebrates different kinds of love.
Yes. And also, when this airs, Jane, on February 15th, that's your birthday. So happy birthday from all of your fans.
Aw, thank you so much. Well, you know what, this couldn't be a better birthday present than to be able to be allowed to publish a book like this and to be able to spread this message.
All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we will be talking more to the acclaimed actress and Renaissance woman, Jane Seymour. Stay tuned. You're listening to Positive Living. I'm Patricia Raskin right here on News Talk 630 WPRO and 99.7 FM. We'll be right back. We're back. You're listening to Positive Living, and I'm Patricia Raskin right here on News Talk 630 WPRO and 99.7 FM. And I'm so fortunate to have on the amazing Renaissance woman and Emmy and Golden Globe winner and recipient of the Officer of the British Empire, the actress Jane Seymour. And this wonderful Officer of the British Empire was bestowed upon her by Queen Elizabeth II. She has amazing talents, from being an artist to a painter in watercolors and oil, a fashion designer, a jewelry designer, and, as you know, of course, an acclaimed actress. Welcome back, Jane.
Thank you.
Let's talk about open hearts, how that has impacted your life personally.
Well, it's interesting. Since I made the piece of jewelry and I started wearing it, and people would ask about it, and I would talk about what it meant to me, and I realized that on a daily basis, every time I find myself impatient, or I get upset about something, or something doesn't work out the way I want it to, or I have an argument or an issue with my children or my husband, it's really funny. It's like a shortcut. We go, okay, can we have an open heart moment here? And we literally shelve the whole thing. We put whatever was said behind. We just say, you know what, I'm sorry. forgive me, I forgive you, let's just move forward. And so it's actually become a really wonderful metaphor for being able to move through issues and really find some way of speaking and being heard and listening and really communicating with people. So it's sort of become like an amazing, like a sort of universal symbol in a way.
So your advice to parents raising their children, that may have difficulties, or they want their children to be more creative, they want to bring out that passion that you have in your life, advice for them?
I think there's nothing like being there with your children, listening to them, hearing them, engaging them in conversations, introducing them to something new and different, and being there with them. I mean, the problem is that so many children are like parked off in front of the TV or in front of the computer now, and they're isolated, and their entire relationship with the world is based on who knows what they're reading on the internet. So I really think that you need to spend physical time with your children. You take them for a walk, play ball, play tennis, swim, whatever it is. I mean, create artwork. I mean, my kids were doing a school thing the other day, and they started writing music. They play music, and the assignment at school was to write a poem. But of course, then when we told them they could write a rock song, then they all got excited. So, one of them ended up writing a rap song, and the other one ended up writing a really fabulous rock and roll song. And the next thing they realized, oh yes, they've done their assignment. They're writing poetry. It's the same kind of thing.
What would you say would be your favorite open heart story that may not be in your book, Jane?
Oh, my goodness. Well, I'm receiving the most amazing letters from people now. One was really cute. Was just before Christmas, this lady, single mom, little girl, took the daughter to see Father Christmas. And they didn't have very much money, like everyone. She's in the credit crunch, and she was wanted to make sure at least her kid got to see Father Christmas. But what she did is she made sure that she got to go next so that she could find out from Father Christmas rather sneakily what her daughter wanted. And when it was her turn to go up, Father Christmas says, your daughter has asked for an open heart necklace for you because she feels that my mom needs an open heart because she's so good and she needs to be loved.
Oh, isn't that
and
beautiful?
So I got that letter, and they sold out of open hearts at that point. We're okay now, but at that point, no one realized it would be so popular. And so we personally made sure that she got hers. I had another letter from a lady who said to me that she has been at loggerheads with her mother for as long as she can remember. They had nothing but a bad relationship her whole life, and now she's in her 40s. And she said that she saw the commercial, and she saw the necklace and saw the philosophy behind it. And she went to her mother and said, Mom, you know what, can we have an open heart?
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
And you know what, her mom listened to that because she'd seen this commercial and said, well, and they started speaking to one another about the pain they'd had, how they wanted to let go of it, not talk about it anymore, just leave it behind and start afresh.
And
now they have an incredible relationship. And apparently her mom has not taken the necklace off.
Isn't that something?
She showers in it, she touches it, and it's healed them. So, I hear that makes me so much more excited.
Oh, of course, because you're healing people, really, through everything that you've done. What are you planning to do on your special day, on your birthday, which will, when this show airs, which is February 15th, what are you going to do with your family?
I have no idea. We have no special plans. I know that on the 14th, until very late at night, I'm going to be filming the movie that I'm doing right now.
Which is?
It's called Freeloaders, and it's Adam Duritz of Counting Crows. It's the story of the guys that kind of took over his Beverly Hills home when he was gone, and I'm playing this really nasty real estate agent that has to get them out. So
will this be on television or in the movies?
No, it's going to be a sort of a risque, broken lizards thing.
And where will we be able to see this? On
Oh, I'm sure eventually it'll end up on television, but no, it'll be a feature film. It'll go out probably in the theaters, theatrical release, and then eventually on video and television.
So within a year?
I would imagine, yes. I mean, it's a wild comedy.
Well, before we go, we have a couple minutes. I must say, I've interviewed you several times over the years, and I was always so impressed with Dr. Quinn, with the character, with your personal resilience, Jane. You've been a role model for me, and I'm not just saying that because of not only your resilience with change, but being a Renaissance woman, from being an artist to a jewelry designer to a fashion person to a makeup and, with your skincare line, to how do you do all of this? How does all of this come into one person?
Well, you know what, the art thing, as I told you, is like a healing for me, and so I just love to paint. It just flows right out of me, and I keep having ideas. And I found that my art really transferred into jewelry, and also home products. I had a whole home collection for a long time, and I'm doing that again.
But even your Dancing with the Stars, that was a departure in a way. That was took a lot of
strength. That's what I started with. Originally I wanted to be a dancer, and I loved to paint. That's what I did first. So I did all of that. I even had my own company making and embroidering clothes when I was 15 years old. So when people say, what makes you suddenly think when you've been an actress you can do all these things, I have to point out to them I was doing it long before I was ever an actress. So I guess the real question is, what rights did I have to be an actress?
Well, you've done it all, and we're just so happy you've been on. Closing thoughts as we close this segment. What would you like to leave our listeners with about the open heart, Jane?
Well, you know what? I wrote in my introduction, which I won't read all of, but there is something that I'd love to read, just the last part of it. Can I do that?
I think we have time, yes.
Okay. I said, of course, the open heart is about love, and I'm not talking just about romantic love, but love for yourself, love for your talents, love for the exquisite beauty of the natural world. It's love for your neighbors, your friends, your family, and love of God in whatever form you happen to find Him. For the open heart is more than anything else about tolerance, about seeing beyond the petty into the greater picture. It is the opposite of hate. In this present world of division and intolerance, we need open hearts.
Thank you so much, Jane Seymour, for being on this program. It's been an honor and a pleasure. And tell us about your website.
Well, I've just relaunched JaneSeymour.com, and I'm very excited. We have everything on there. We have my art, we have videos, we have what I'm involved with in terms of philanthropy, obviously the book, and everything that I'm doing and upcoming events. So I'm really excited about having this website and about really being able to stream videos on it too.
Thank you so much, Jane Seymour, for being on this program.
You're welcome.
Thank you.